Hi there, and welcome to the latest edition of OTR. My name is Matt McGee, and this is the second video OTR that we did. I think you recall it was probably about 3 months or so ago that we did the very first one. Hopefully this one is a little easier to watch because I have a new webcam, and so the blurriness from that last one should be gone, and I've also added a little extra lighting over here, which hopefully helps and makes this a little more enjoyable. We got a lot of great feedback after the first video OTR, but there were a couple people that asked for a written transcript because they didn't have time or weren't able to watch the video for one reason or another, so that's a great idea. And so if you're tuning in and seeing this video on top of the page, just go ahead and scroll down and there should be a written transcript or a close facsimile of the transcript right below the video, so you can, those of you that prefer to read, can still read the OTR the way you used to. So happy 4th of July to our U.S. readers and watchers. It is 4th of July weekend. Monday is a holiday for all of us. I am recording this late at night, so hopefully you won't hear any sounds of fireworks or firecrackers coming through the windows from my neighborhood, where pretty much everybody in this neighborhood loves to light off firecrackers and fireworks at this time of year. So obviously the big news in U2ville in recent weeks is Glastonbury, U2's first ever performance there. It's kind of hard to really judge from watching it on television or watching the videos on YouTube or wherever, but it looked to me like the band hit just a huge home run with that performance. Seemed, from what I saw, like they really put everything they had into that performance, especially Bono giving everything he had. Some critics, I even heard a couple fans, they were less than thrilled with the performance. But most of what I have heard and read was real positive. We had one guy who posted in our forum on @U2. This is a guy who says that he's been to every Glastonbury since 1979, and he called U2's performance stunning. And that's a quote. So I think that's pretty high praise coming from a vet who has seen 30-plus years of headliners at Glastonbury. As for me, I loved seeing the Zoo TV pieces that they brought back, especially the barrage of words and phrases during the Fly. Zoo TV was my favorite tour, probably always will be, so I thought that was great to see several elements of the show brought back, just for even if it was just for one night. U2's Glastonbury performance also, by the way, made for one of the busiest days of traffic that we've had on both @U2 and U2Tours.com in a long, long time. There was tons of interest in U2's performance there, especially in how to watch it online. The article that we wrote about that got a lot of views. We ended up seeing more traffic on the two sites because of Glastonbury in the month of June. We saw more traffic on the two sites than we had seen since the tour started in the summer of 2009. So just about 2 years. June was our highest traffic months on both sites. So those of you that came to @U2 or U2 Tours looking for Glasto information, hope you got what you came for when you visited. Speaking of the Zoo TV era, I was somewhat intrigued by recent comments that Edge made in the Rolling Stone article about those upcoming Achtung Baby and Zooropa reissues, the ones that are coming later this year. He talked about discovering alternative versions of the songs. I have it up on my other monitor here. Songs that wouldn't have seen the light of day, alternative lyrics, different arrangement styles, and then he says that it's like Achtung Baby out of focus. Now, was I the only one? Maybe you also were reminded when you read those quotes from him. Did that sound like the famous Salome bootlegs, the bootleg set that was real popular online in the 1990s and then early 2000s even? It doesn't really get talked about much anymore, but back in the day, it's this big, huge 3 CD set, several hours of material of U2's Berlin sessions. A lot of full songs, different versions of Until the End of the World. Some other songs that have never been released, like, what's the one? Heaven and Hell, I think, was the one. It sounded like it really could have been a really cool song. So I don't know. When I just read those quotes from Edge, it just reminded me of that bootleg. I'm going to bust that out soon and listen to that. And I don't know, it'd be probably pretty cool to have some of that material from that I recall hearing on the bootleg. Be cool to have some of that included, maybe cleaned up a little, on the reissue when that comes out later this year. I'll be looking forward to that. Next topic is also on the subject of Zoo TV, but this one is actually more about U2 fans, and specifically it's about a guy named Tim Cunningham and his friend Beth, and Tim's super cool addition to his U2 collection. You may recognize Tim's name. He has contributed to U2 a couple times over the years. I have personally bumped into him at a few shows, I think. In fact, when U2 did its dress rehearsal in Denver back in, what was it, May 20th or so, it was Tim and Beth that kept me company outside the stadium during that dress rehearsal while we were all hoping we could get inside, but we didn't. But they were among the people that kept me company. We had a good time outside the stadium as we streamed that dress rehearsal live online for people to listen. You may more recently recognize Tim and Beth's name because they have done some of the live streaming on recent U2 360 shows, including the Nashville concert just on Saturday night. So that's where you might recognize their name. Anyway. Tim recently wrote a post on Beth's blog, and I just have to share it. It's kind of long, but I'm going to try and condense it and share some of the story right here. As Tim says in the blog post, he has two passions in life, U2 and cars. So you can assume that Tim's probably pretty interested in the East German Trabants that U2 used during the Zoo TV tour and that whole Achtung Baby era, and if you assume that, you would be correct. So a few years ago, as Tim explains, he saw one of the Trabants for sale on eBay. He ended up striking up a conversation with the seller, and it was a gal in New Jersey named Maria. Maria had won the car in an MTV contest back in 1992, but was ready to get rid of it. This was, I think, 2004, he says. Tim couldn't afford it then, and they ended up falling out of touch until last year when Tim finally tracked Maria down again. They chatted on and off, and then earlier this year, they were talking about Maria wanting to get rid of the car again, and Tim agreed that he would go to New Jersey and pick up this Trabant from Maria. So he decided he was going to do this while he and Beth are driving around from show to show on the 360 tour. He didn't bother telling Beth that this was the plan until one day they get in the car, and actually there's a trailer attached to the car, and Tim says, "We're not going to the next show. We're going to New Jersey instead. We're going to pick up a Trabant." So off they go. Road trip, right? Pretty cool. So they drive from wherever they were. It's in the blog post. They get to New Jersey, they meet Maria, they find the Trabant in the backyard, and they put this video together of them loading the little Trabant into the trailer that Tim brought with him. So take a look at this video. All right, hold up. Sorry, I know you're on the ramp. You can let it slide back if you want. Ready? In. Yeah, we can try it. It's been like it's been frozen. So, pretty cool stuff right there. They get the car, they head from New Jersey back to the Chicago area, which is where Tim lives, but on the way they decide that they're going to stop in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And on a quiet evening when no one is around, they took the Trabant out of the trailer again. They park it right out in front of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so for a few moments, instead of the regular 4 Trabants at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there are 5 Trabants at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I just have this vision of the cars, like, because I just saw Cars 2 this weekend. So I'm like, you know, if the Trabants could talk to each other. Anyway, pretty cool scene to see this this fifth Trabant in front of the rock hall. They took Beth took this photo, I believe, and they shared it with me. So Tim, to cut to the chase here, Tim has the Trabant at home now, and he is looking for some help from U2 fans. So hopefully that is where you come in. In the blog post that Tim wrote, so please check that out. There's a clip from MTV News that shows the car that he has now, the red one, being painted. Tim would like to know, if possible, when that news clip aired. He's also trying to find out when the car was painted. I have a feeling it was the summer before the Outside Broadcast tour in '92. Don't know for sure. He's basically just looking for any information that you might have about the car, about the news clip that's in the blog post, about when the car was painted, and also about the MTV contest when the car was given away. So if you have any old video clips from that, if you have any old photos of the car you might have seen at one of the Zoo TV concerts or somewhere else, please let Tim know. Lastly, he would just love to hear from you. So you can leave a comment on Tim's blog post. You can find him on Twitter. He is at WTSHNN. It's short for Where the Streets Have No Name. And if worse comes to worse and you can't figure out how to get in touch with Tim, just send us an email here at U2, news@u2.com, and we will forward the email if you have any information to help Tim out. So if you get a chance to do that, please do. Tim and Beth are good folks. So, all right, this video OTR is already long enough, and it's getting late. So let me just wrap up by announcing or reminding you that the second edition of my book, U2: A Diary, should be out very soon. I haven't had an update from the publisher on this in quite a while, but July was always the target date for the second edition to be out. So I am hopeful to get some news real soon. I'm going to check up with the publisher this week and see what I can find out. So look for some updates on @U2's homepage and or on u2diary.com if you're interested in the second edition of the book, and I sure hope you are, because a lot of work went into it. So yeah, please do check that out. All right, so thanks for watching this video. Again, we're looking for any feedback on this. We'll do some more video OTRs again in the future. Don't know when the next one might be, but keep an eye out for that. Thanks for reading @U2. If you see any of our staffers at any of the upcoming U2 360 shows, please do say hello, because we do love to hear from our readers. So again, thanks for watching. Have a good week, and adios.